Welcome back to Tousi TV, your global news channel. I'm Tousi, and unfortunately we have some bad news coming from Deutschland as multiple anti-IRGC Iranians in Hamburg have been attacked and stabbed by Islamists. We also have the latest update for you guys coming from Iran. The uprising continues to escalate. We have now reached technically right now day 22. Yeah, because it's day 21 right now, UK time. People are still out on the streets despite martial law, despite the crackdown, despite the massacre, and the videos are now coming out following obviously we had a few days of Starlink signaling issues because there was a signal jamming by the IRGC thanks to China and Russia. It's all kicking up, but first let's go to Germany and see what's going on over there. Last night in London, we had problems as anti-IRGC Iranians were attacked by the Metropolitan Police. In Hamburg, we now have the anti-IRGC Iranians who are protesting against the Islamic occupation of Iran were attacked by jihadis. Of course, that makes sense. In the UK, the problem is policing. In Europe, a lot of jihadis are successfully taking out innocent people. Afghan invaders in Deutschland stabbed a crowd of Iranians who were protesting for the freedom and liberty of Iran, their country, for them to take back their country, to go back home and to help the rest of the world. This is the first footage we have, and then the whole thing escalates. I will give you the details. Apparently, there was more than one suspect. Afghan nationals took out knives. The police acted, but it took a few minutes for the German police to act. They have now ended up arresting the suspects. They're still chanting "Long live the King" despite being attacked by the Afghans. There is a significant thing to mention about the Afghans. So, at least 2 Iranians have been seriously injured and are being treated, but more others have also been reported to be injured. We're just double checking their well-being and whether they are being treated in a hospital or was it minor injuries. Let's go to the next video. I'm going to explain exactly what the problem is when it comes to the Afghans. So that's when one of them was arrested here. Now, 2 problems. I'm saying death to Khomeini. One problem is Europe. European leaders, including Angela Merkel, opened the doors to all these illegal migrants without vetting their backgrounds. Afghans are a huge, radical jihadi Afghans are a big problem in Germany, just like in Austria, just like in the Netherlands. That's the problem for Europe. That's the problem caused by the European leaders. On the other hand, the Afghan problem is also an Iranian problem. The IRGC right now in the country have brought in proxies and militants from 3 main countries: Iraq, Afghanistan and Pakistan. This requires international focus. Nobody in the international community cares because they don't really want to touch Afghanistan or Iraq or anything like that. They can't do anything about Pakistan because it's a nuclear country that is supposed to be a frenemy to the West. But the biggest problem is right now, mass migration caused this. You bring in people without knowing who they are, caused this. And the people who are supposed to be actual political refugees from any country, but in this case Iran, they escaped the Middle East to be safe. You can't even keep your own people safe. We don't expect you to keep the anti-IRGC Iranians safe. See the problem, right? Disgusting. the Afghan suspects have been arrested. We will get more info on their identity and their background. The religion of peace, ladies and gentlemen. The Iranians are chanting terrorists. Where is the German leadership? That's one of them, by the way. One of the suspects. Wait for it. It's going to turn around. Here we go.
Okay, nice.
The message is simple. Import the third world, become the third world. This is a choice. This was always a political choice by the European liberal leadership. Now you wonder why Europe is going down. Despite the warnings for years and years by myself, for the past 7-8 years, by people, by my good friend Douglas Murray, who's written many books, especially The Death of Europe, about, 10 years ago? Nobody listened. Let's go to the aftermath. Then we're going to go to Iran. As I said, we have finally received the videos, the latest videos. The uprising continues. People are not going home despite the massacre, despite martial law. In many cities, including Tehran, Mashhad and Isfahan, the people are still fighting for their life, for their liberty. Let's go to the aftermath. Apologies. I'm allergic, apparently, to jihad. Angela Merkel, you did this. Partly, and also the rest of the liberal leadership in Deutschland. Now, should we go to Iran? We'll come back to Germany and, of course, the latest response to this terrorist attack. But in Iran, the uprising continues. The latest video, the last few days we had issues with the Starlink satellites. The Islamic Republic managed to successfully jam the signal for a while. So we were receiving limited number of videos, but we are receiving more now. Let's quickly go to the capital in Tehran and see what the situation is on the ground, because CNN and BBC and CBC are telling us that the revolution is over. The uprising has been defeated. Everybody's gone home. Everybody's now happy and they've all gone back to work. Have they? But that's just one city, although that is the capital, Tehran, which is under martial law. Okay, there's a bit of disruption on the motorway. Not a big deal. Let's go to Esfahan. Long live the king. Still chanting the same name. And of course, let's go back to the capital. This one is from last night, 11 p.m. local time, despite martial law. Saying the crowd are coming back and chasing, or the time going forward towards the security forces. Never give up, never surrender, Iran. We can also go to other cities, including Yazd, as the chants of "Long live the king" continues. Let's not forget the second largest city in Iran, Mashhad, which is supposed to be the holy Shia city and the second headquarters of Ali Khamenei, chasing the IRGC security forces. Now, there's so many videos that are coming in from the last few days, couple of days, and obviously there was a massive internet shutdown overall. The Islamic Republic are now working on completely cutting off the Iran from the global internet network. So what they want to do is essentially North Korea. What they want to do is to have what we call intranet, not internet, intranet. And that's how they're functioning right now. It doesn't really help anybody, but it doesn't really matter because the regime has essentially collapsed. It's collapsed without anybody calling it because the country is not functioning. Nobody's really in charge. You just have a bunch of Islamic thugs with the help of about 5,000, more than 5,000 foreign forces coming out to take control of the streets. And all the videos that you're seeing from today and yesterday, obviously last night, some of the videos, still proves that the mainstream media in the West continue to be the propaganda mouthpiece for the Islamic Republic. They want you to give up. They want you to believe that the Iranians have surrendered. That is not the case. Nobody's going to work. The general strike continues. Nothing has gone back to normal. They are not surrendering. They know they have no way to go back. No turning back. This is not 2022. This is not 2019 or 2017 or 2009. Things have changed. Nobody is in charge anymore. You only have the mafia, the Islamic mafia. Let's go back to Hamburg. We're still trying to get some reaction from the local police. Our team have been in touch with the guys in Hamburg. We're still waiting for the statement, but let's see the aftermath. Michael says 21,000 watching, although it's now 23,000 by the way, and less than 3,000 likes. Come on, people, hit the like button. I'm not saying it. Michael is saying it. Listen to Michael. Thank you. Now, should we go to London? Because last night was chaotic in the capital of this kingdom. After the attack by the Metropolitan Police outside the Islamic Republic Embassy, tonight, outside the same building in London, the crowd is bigger than ever before. Tomorrow, if you are in London or if you are in the UK, 2 p.m. UK time, outside the BBC headquarters, the broadcasting house, just north of Oxford Circus. Join us there. I will be there, 2 p.m. We will be marching towards the Prime Minister's office. I will be making a speech alongside many others. Be there. But tonight, as we speak, this is the crowd. That's what happens. You attack people, you increase the numbers. Beautiful American flags, Iranian flags, all the others joining in alliance. Now, F. Khamenei, okay, not family friendly, but it's okay. People are angry. He says, from the river to the sea, Iran will be free. Lion and sun flag will rise again. Now, PC says, Maya, Sky News did a crappy false report on last night's event at the embassy. But I did predict that. I did say immediately after what happened last night, that because Sky News and BBC News and others were not there, what they are going to be doing is they're going to rely on the statement from the police. So the Metropolitan Police will tell them whatever they want them to tell them, and they did. False reporting. The evidence was shown on this channel live, thanks to our reporter Niak. Massive super chat from Australia, thank you very much. I appreciate this. Saying freedom of speech must be the highest ideal in the new Iran, an ideal which is enforced by the severest punishments. You will be forced to be free, guys. Love it. Thank you, Sasha. Trump did warn Europe about this. Trump was right. And many others, as I said, Douglas Murray and a few others. Please could you turn down the sound of on videos? It's difficult to hear you through the noisy videos. Thank you for the feedback. And hell is empty and all the devils are here. Margareta says, Dear Maya, greetings from Malta again. Mass deportations of Afghans from Iran is now putting innocent Iranians in Europe at risk by Afghan migrants. No, because they've all been arrested by the Taliban. All those who were deported from Iran to Afghanistan, the Taliban saw them, treated them as traitors, and the majority are in prison, basically. But what we have had is more Afghans still leaving Afghanistan anyway. The people who are causing trouble are the same Afghans who already left Afghanistan 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. This is the problem that started way before any of this nonsense. I go to Armenia in June. I'll see the Iranian border. Good times, right? Look at the massive crowd right now in London, London style. Long live the king. Freedom for Iran. Freedom for everybody in the world who believes in life and freedom. Now, I did mention earlier in our previous live stream that the Islamic Republic seemed to be poking the bear. I think at this point they know what's coming anyway, because we have multiple aircraft carriers, USS Abraham Lincoln and the others, still making their way towards Iran. It's still going to take another few days for them to arrive. We got the rest of the US troops being added to the Middle Eastern bases from Europe and the US and Diego Garcia. US troops are mobilizing anyway. That's their mission. It seems like the Islamic Republic, they also have intel anyway. They know that regardless of what they do or what they say, big things are about to happen, which means they have decided to poke the bear. Today, the IRGC leaders went on the Islamic Republic State TV and said that Trump is talking nonsense. We will carry out the public executions as planned, and President Trump can't do anything about it, and the Americans obviously are behind the uprising and they will pay a price. That doesn't mean anything because that's just rhetoric. They can't do anything about the Americans, but they have to do that. They have to say that. This is the same rhetoric since 1979. Death to America. Okay, try it. See if it works. It doesn't work. We now obviously, I did mention yesterday, I think, and today, the confirmation from the Israeli Defense Ministry about what happened a few days ago. The U-turn last minute before the Americans were, well, they decided to obviously, they were going to do an airstrike on the Islamic Republic. The airspace was closed and everything else, and then suddenly nothing happened. All the rumors, all the speculations, ignore all that. Everything went back to the Pentagon and Jerusalem. So the guys at Pentagon basically said, depends what you want, President Trump. If you want to send a message, then sure, do a couple of airstrikes on the IRGC bases. Won't really do much. If you want a full-on operation, you can't do it now. You need more resources to also protect the bases, but everything else. The Israelis have now also confirmed and doubling down that Prime Minister Netanyahu did urge Trump not to strike Iran, warning that it was not fully prepared, not just to defend Israel, but the plan was not going to be enough to destroy the IRGC. the fascinating part about this, that this was the briefing that was given to the media 4 days ago. The media, the liberal globalist media, decided to only give you guys part of that report, which is very interesting. So they only told the world a few days ago that the Israelis told the Americans, don't attack Iran tonight because we are not ready to defend ourselves. They forgot to tell the world the other part of the report, which was the Israelis also did tell Trump, like Pentagon, that this plan that you have for tonight is not going to be enough. We all want the same thing, destroy the IRGC. You have to wait for the regime to get weaker and you need more resources and with a full plan. But obviously they didn't want to show that as a report, so they just went to the angle that the Israelis are not ready. Now, there's also a lot of people who are so emotionally tribal. Avoid anybody who is emotionally tribal, any side, whether it's on the pro-Iranian side, pro-American side, pro-Israeli side, pro-IRGC side. Ignore them, because everybody has their blind spot, right? So President Trump has made mistakes strategically, not on this issue yet, because it hasn't happened yet, many other things in the past. Between 2016 to 2020, his team have learned. The Israeli government, successive governments, have made many mistakes since 1948. Concessions to the Palestinians, surrendering, giving up Gaza, many things, offering two-state solutions, left, right, and center, giving up control of their own territory so many times. The Iranian people have made many mistakes in terms of their strategy for uprisings, but you can't blame them because they're just ordinary people. They're not like generals or politicians. But those who are going around right now saying, how dare you tell me Israel is not ready to defend itself? Israel is the greatest country. Israel, it will be absolutely fine defending itself against the IRGC. What do you know? Are you in the room right now? Are you in the room with Eyal Zamir and Netanyahu? Did you not see what happened during the 12-day war? Oh yes, the IRGC was paralyzed. The Israelis, the operation was so smooth, mostly the first day of the 12-day war. And obviously there were a number of big attacks. The Israeli defense was overwhelmed. Don't forget that. And that was with the IRGC being completely all over the place. I am not saying that the Islamic Republic have suddenly become an actual tiger. They are still a paper tiger. They are not that much of a strong country as a regime. Having said that, they have extremely improved their arsenal for ballistic missiles and everything else, and they have nothing to lose. This is not the 12-day war. The 12-day war was a bit of a bitch slap from all sides. Neither side was destroying the other side. They were damaging each other. If you're telling me that President Trump is going to go in and with the aim to destroy the Islamic Republic, the IRGC are about to go down, the same people in charge of the IRGC who have one mission to wipe out the Jewish nation, you do realize what they are going to be doing, most likely. Use every single resource they have, every single missile, every single drone, everything that they have, every fighter jet, all at the same time to launch. Does not mean Israel will be destroyed. It does not mean Israel will be defeated. No. But it does mean Israel will be damaged. Despite the strong self-defense from the Israeli side, they will be hurt. Don't forget, the Israeli value, the Israeli government, regardless of being right-wing or left-wing or whatever, they care about every single human life. Every single Israeli civilian matters. If 5 Israelis die as a result of the IRGC attack, that is a disaster for the Israelis. It is a small country. So obviously the Israeli defense don't want that. They want to ensure that if the Americans are going to go in, if the IRGC are about to hit back, at Israel basically, that they can easily be stopped immediately. Which also means we don't have access to the briefings from Pentagon, what the original plan was a few days ago, which was cancelled last minute. But if the plans didn't include the Americans going in to immediately take over and hit all the arsenals of ballistic missiles and everything else that the Iranian regime have, then yes, obviously that means that the Islamic Republic will have about half an hour while they are panicking and getting killed, the rest of them will have half an hour to go and basically launch everything. I'm exaggerating. It's not half an hour, but you know what I mean. So you need to ensure that the Israelis are ready. You need to ensure that the Americans are ready. So it makes absolute sense that both the Israelis and Pentagon would advise President Trump, okay, we need a new plan. But the media lied. The media only told you, oh, Israelis are so weak that they can't defend themselves, and they begged Trump not to do it. No, that's not the main reason. The Israelis also advised the president, just like his own advisors, this won't really bring down the regime. These are just a few airstrikes. We need more. USS Abraham Lincoln, warships, more fighter jets, not just B-2 bombers, everything. And that's why we're on that stage now. Still days to go, few days to go for the US military to be mobilized. They're still on their way to the Middle East. For the record, they can still change their mind. Obviously, they can still make a U-turn last minute. The whole of the American empire could get to the border of Iran, and last minute they could still decide not to do it for whatever reason. Because they have no obligation. It's not their job. They're doing us a favor by doing this. They're doing the world a favor, the Americans. They have no responsibility. The only issue is that the rhetoric coming from the president, President Trump, last week, a week and a half ago, telling people, don't worry, it's not about the help is coming. The help is coming is not really important. Everyone is focused on the president saying the help is coming. The people were already out protesting anyway. The only issue is when the president said, continue protesting, take over your institutions, seize control over cities. That's the only thing. Because again, even though people say, whoa, President Trump incited violence, President Trump encouraged people to go out there, again, the people were already out. What that did, the only problem with what Trump said, was that it's not the stay on the streets, we are coming. It's that it was a very detailed advice. Take control of your institutions. Take control of your institutions, seize the IRGC bases, means I as President Trump, and you guys as the Iranian people, we're on the same page, we want regime change, right? And then I'm telling you, keep doing it, we're coming. Now, he hasn't broken that promise, despite what the people are saying, because they're still going. They're still on their way. The only issue is if President Trump decides not to do it, while I said they could have any reason, because it's the American empire, they could do whatever they want to do. They're not answering to anybody. They haven't signed any contract. They have no obligation to anybody. But that sentence of seize the IRGC institutions, that will come back and haunt the president based on the credibility. Not the, keep protesting, the help is on its way. A lot of people are focusing on the help is on his way thing. Well, the help is on his way. He hasn't broken that promise. But if the action is not taken last minute when basically the troops are ready, the only issue will be then the rhetoric that he said take control of the IRGC bases, because at that point, the Islamic Republic, if they manage to survive, if they manage to win this uprising, which is still unlikely, all bridges are burned. Now, obviously, there won't be any negotiations. There won't be anything. Not that there should be any negotiations, but so far, the president has acted well. So far, the president has decided to stick to his words, which is good. So far, the president hasn't betrayed the Iranian people, unlike Obama, which is good. Obviously, the liberal media are telling you, Trump has betrayed the Iranians. No, he hasn't. That nothing's happened. But if he decides to do it, if he decides to make a deal with the Iranian regime and basically to say that I'm against the uprising, well, that will be a big problem. Not because he said the help is on his way, but because he told people to take control of the IRGC buildings. That's a little bit, it's a big U-turn. It will damage him, absolutely. But so far, luckily, the president hasn't betrayed the people. So far, he has sent help. The Americans are on their way, but it's still up to them. We'll have to wait next few days, next week, to see what the developments are. Now, and of course, the uprising hasn't failed. People are still out. People are still fighting. Obviously, we are showing you guys the videos because the media is not showing you. We have to show you the evidence because if you just watch the liberal legacy media, you might not believe it, but we have to show you guys the facts. And this is where we are right now. Now, there is Why no other army from any other countries show up? For what purpose? But there's no other country apart from the American Empire that has any appetite to help the Iranians. That's why. Freedom for all the Iranian people is a must. Praying for all of the Iranian people. May God bless each and every one of you. Thank you. And hello from Australia. Thank you. Always appreciate your channel. I appreciate that. There is a yeah, a couple of non-super chats. Yeah, Paul. Listen to Paul. He says Trump keeps his word. Chill. Yeah. So far, he has. So far, he has. Obviously, he could still change his mind. If he does change his mind, then you can criticize him then, but not yet. Mark. Hello from Australia. Oh, that's the same one. Just reading the same comments. I'm like, why are there so many Australians? Hair fixed. No camera issues. Trust the camera. Have faith, guys. I'm back in the studio. Don't worry, guys. Arkansas is with you. Love Arkansas, apart from Bill Clinton. You know. Javid Shah. Javid. My R2C. That's not bad, actually. It's Maya. Never thought of that. My R2C. Cool. New merch. King Charles III can learn from Reza Pahlavi how to be a true king. Where is King Charles now in protecting his people from the criminous Starmer? Yeah, when your own constitutional conventions restrict you from actually doing your job as a king, it's a little bit embarrassing. New UK flag in front of the embassy for some reason. I wonder why. There was still a couple in the other side, but yes, mostly the Israeli flags, the American flags, and the Iranian flags. You can thank Starmer for that, by the way. Just read Islamophobia definition will stop Iranians protesting. Oh, is that my article? Is that finally out? Is that the Telegraph? Because I am mentioned in that article. I was interviewed. If it is, PC, can you confirm? How do you spell it? Islamophobia. There is an article. Oh, that's already gone out. That was 3 days ago. They didn't. Oh no, there we go. 5 hours ago. There we go. Okay, there's an article. There we go. This one. Islamophobia definition will stop Iranians protesting in Britain. I'm in this article. Yeah, they did an interview with me. I did mention, obviously, this. If you look at what's going on in Iran, every single one of those guys will be arrested under the new law because of Keir Starmer's idiocy. So stupid. Angela Rayner came up with it, by the way. So tell Trump he can't do something. F around and find out. Starmer must be squirming with these demonstrations. It doesn't really help his image, does it? The videos show medical equipment and a headshot. Which one? There's no context. Which videos? Okay, I might have to find out myself. Thank you. You are perfectly right about Israel. Love your channel. It's the only one I follow for news in Iran and the world. I appreciate this. I think you've got so many tribal people, emotionally subjective weirdos. Their loyalty just blinds their... Well, they blind them. So. Brilliant coverage. Thank you, Carol. Islamist equals Nazi. Simple math. Slight differences because of the National Socialists more inward-looking. Islamists are more globalists. But yeah. But both violent. So yeah. Trump always does what he says he's going to do. Although he's also unpredictable, so you don't know how he's going to do it. He would do it, but you don't know how he's going to do it. Thank you, guys. God bless people of Iran. We've got more from Australia. There we go. Australians are awake. Not woke, awake. King Charles is a Fourth Reich. He wishes. He's not even strong to stand up to his own family. And I have started to go out to Amazon and flag every item for sale that has the Islamic logo on it as offensive. That is such a... I don't want to say it. It's like, you know, can I talk to the manager? The reason being, it is a symbol of a murderous terrorist regime. I hope others will join me. Yeah, it's the little battles, isn't it? Small battles. Watching from Norway, are there any Arab countries who would want to help the Iranian people? No. Even though they are against the Islamic Republic, it's not really in their interest to take a gamble and see Iran becoming free because, again, you forget how big Iran is as a land and the success that it's had historically. If Iran is free and democratic and strong, you know, all the competition with UAE, Bahrain, Saudi, Qatar, they're going to lose out. Not completely. I think because they are strong as well now. Financially, stability-wise, Saudi is a huge country, but they are terrified. They are terrified of competition. They hate the IRGC, but they are terrified of having Iran being free. So they don't want Iran to be free. It's a very weird dilemma that they have. They can tolerate the IRGC because the IRGC is not really a strong enemy for UAE, Bahrain, Oman, Saudi, but they're fine with Qatar, obviously. But this is why they don't really have the appetite. Short term, it affects their oil business. Long term, it affects every business that they have and the influence that they have in the Middle East. Saudi wants to be the police of the Middle East, but they don't really want to police the Middle East, but they want to be seen as the big dogs. The only people that they can fight against is a bunch of amateur thugs in Yemen, for example. Well, anybody could fight those guys, Saudi. I dare you to go and fight the IRGC. To be fair, the IRGC are also not strong. If an actual foreign force goes in to fight the IRGC, except for the Pakistanis, because it's Pakistan, they will lose to themselves. They don't even know what they're doing in Pakistan. But a normal military, a normal successful military like India, if they go in, they could easily destroy the IRGC. You just need to have a large army. But these Arabs, weak and feeble Arab leaders, a bunch of idiots. The problem is, the more you become prosperous and wealthy and educated, as the Arabs are becoming, because free market works, the weaker you become as a human being. Same problem in Europe. Liberal democracies, free market capitalism, all the values that I'm in favor of, makes you weak at the end of the day when there is no external threat on your border. Then you start attacking your own people. Internal problems, wokeism, this, that, everybody is a fascist, everyone's a Nazi. But nobody has the balls to fight. Nobody has the balls to realize the priorities, that your values might not be keeping you safe if you are not fighting for it. The Roman Empire essentially fell from within. The Persian Empire was so distracted with the early days, diversity and inclusiveness, genuinely, because the Persian Empire was the first established empire that said you could all have whatever religion you want to have. You could even have your own languages, you could have your own costumes and traditions and cultures, but you're all Persian. What happened? Well, big fights happened, including Momo's army, Muhammad, including a couple of times the Greeks. They tried their best. The Persian Empire couldn't stay united, and their kings got drunk and started selling out Iran. The Greeks also got drunk, lost. Rome, basically, at the end, to simplify it, fell from within because of distractions. It's a very simplified version. There was obviously a whole journey of decades of decline. Focusing on prosperity and education, great stuff. You forgot Rome was supposed to be about military strength. Rome started defeating all their enemies outside. They forgot. You could have internal problems. Idiots. Now this is Europe. Anyway, thank you so much. I hope this was informative. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.